Hi, I'm Bob Spinozzi.
I'm Geoff Hall.
And we're in Westford. It's the name of our show. It's a project of the Westford Historical Society.
I also want to remember that you're going to soon be moving to Cincinnati.
Yeah. Trading one last place team for another last place team.
Well, actually,
colors remain the same, though.
I was going to say, you might have better luck next year with the Bengals.
Yeah. Now, before I go, I want to talk about something that I saw right off of the intersection of 225 and 27. Continuing on 27, there's an Elderberry Road, I believe.
Yeah.
There's an old silo.
Oh, yeah.
Sitting there.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like it doesn't belong there, but there's a reason for it.
Well, when they were actually in the stone silo, I got a picture of it here, Bob. It is weird. Well, the Taylor family, I remember the Taylor family owning it because I went to school with DeWitt Taylor, who graduated with me in 1948. And interestingly enough, his wife Sandy became a colleague of mine. And I spent some time down there as a kid. He had, I remember the stone silo in the farm and all of that. But when they were building that road, the group wanted to preserve this because, hey, you know, it's a nice stone silo. We want to kind of picturesque. So through the efforts of a group of people in town, they preserved the silo itself. But the history behind it,
it wasn't an ordinary corn silo.
Oh, no. There were several of these corn silos in the community. This one, Bob, was, DeWitt will tell you his father, and I'll read a quote from him, my father used the stone building as a corn silo for his cattle. It was loaded from the top or upper opening according to the interior corn depth. So it was used for corn, but underneath there were this tunnel. There were these tunnels. So what do you think they were used for?
They were making booze.
Yeah, they were making booze.
Moonshine.
Yeah. During with the passage of the 18th Amendment, you got a little background on that, don't you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit. I'm going to talk about it a little bit. It relates to the Prohibition. Prohibition was the 18th Amendment, but it wasn't ratified until 1919, and it didn't allow the production or sale of any alcoholic drink. And it lasted from 1920. It was repealed in 1933. Now, there was an exception. Pharmacies could sell alcohol.
Yeah.
You could go in, if you had a doctor's prescription for anything from anxiety to the flu, you could get yourself some cough medicine, as we'll call it.
And you could also produce it on your own. Like if I was making beer in my backyard, that was fine. If I consumed it, I just the sale or transportation of alcohol wasn't allowed. But there were people that made a lot of money. Let's face it, during Prohibition, guys like Al Capone, for example, made a lot of money as a result of this. But then you had these farms like this one here using the stone silo that were probably selling alcohol illegally.
Yeah.
You're
going to talk about an article, Mr. Sherman.
Yeah, an article here. David Sherman of Westford, and this is from August of 1925. The Fitchburg Sentinel pointed at two people, David Sherman of Westford, whose house was on Cold Spring Road in his farm, was fined $200. For selling alcohol. Zachary Denisovich was found guilty of exposing liquor for the sale and was fined $100. And interestingly enough, with Mr. Sherman, fire wiped out his mill in December of that year. And I guess if you were making this stuff, sometimes that was one of the, accidents that happen frequently, huh?
Now think about that for a second. A $200 fine in 1927.
Yeah, 1925, Bob. Yeah.
He was fined?
1925 is when it occurred, yeah.
But the barn burned down in a couple years later. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, Prohibition, a Also had unintended consequences. For instance, state governments no longer had the income from the sale of alcohol. Thousands of jobs were lost. Brewery, distillery, restaurants, saloon jobs vanished, along with many, many other jobs in other sectors.
Well, they didn't really. They just went underground. They called them speakeasies, Bob. But you know, like I said, there's 2 of the people who found, and I'm sure there were others in town. Remember, it was an agricultural community back in the 1920s. So, you know, you wonder how many other farms might have been producing this stuff and just selling it on the side to make a few extra dollars for whatever reason. I do want to mention DeWitt Taylor and I were, as I said, friends in high school. We spent some time down there. And this was, I think, August of 1965. We had left DeWitt's house and were hitchhiking over to our friend Bobby McEnany over in Namnasset. And when we got to the center of Chelmsford, we were approached by someone from the Lowell Sun. And they were doing interviews. And I've got the article here, Bob. They're asking us if we believed in UFOs. And then there were 2 young ladies from
Lowell High School.
Lowell High School, okay, and they were interviewed. We said we believed in them. They said they did not, and that was 1965. And I held on to the article ever since. So DeWitt Taylor and I have a history as well. But the silo is preserved. I mean, it's a curiosity thing, like I said, and it's always great to preserve a bit of our history like that.
So the leaves are still down right now this time of year. So as you're going, again, up 27, you've just crossed over 225, going towards
Chelmsford. Yep.
Chelmsford, Carlisle, I guess, would be the next town.
Well, yeah. If you come up 225, take your left, and you're headed towards Chelmsford.
There you go.
Yeah, headed towards Chelmsford, and you would see the silo on your right-hand side of the road.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's it. And thank you for watching.